Okay, I'm speaking to Harold PYSADEE of Radio Grenada fame and CultureShare fame. Harold, how was your carnival?
It was pretty good. It was great to see a marked improvement in the total carnival this year. I think after the fiasco of last year, we had no choice but to show the people a good mass this year, and it was very good. The parade of the bands was very impressive. The numbers, a marked improvement from last year. The quality of the costumes, very good. Monday night mass was out of this world. Even I had apprehensions. When I usually play with Coca-Cola and Class Code and this kind of thing for Juve morning, and then guys tell me, hey, there ain't no Juve morning mass this year for you. It's gonna be Monday night mass. I say, Monday night mass? What kind of Monday night mass are you talking about, man? I come to play with Juve as usual. And so it was like jabs and old mass on Juve, which really is the traditional manner in which Juve was played. So this then came Monday night mass. I was on the carnage, and I was waiting on the class code band, and then I saw one band pass. I say, wow, this thing looks good. Then I saw the class code band coming down. I said, whoa! And before you know what? I went to the side of the truck, bought a jersey, got my, what you call it, the cap of the bandana, and before you know it, I was playing a mass, and I was very pleasantly surprised the manner in which Monday night mass was conducted. And Monday night mass is here to stay. The mere fact that the private sector is involved in the Monday night mass figures well for the success of it. One thing though, I would love to see the carnage being lit on the night of Monday night mass. I was speaking to Aaron Moses, and Aaron was even telling me that what about the water? You could have all fireworks and the water being lit, and we're thinking that's something that's ultra glamorous, something that will make a glorious picture.
Mardi Gras kind of.
Exactly, and the CultureShare would be coming down next year for Carnival in Grenada, more prepared for Monday night mass, because we were very apprehensive about this new Monday night mass thing and blah 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 blah. But we have been pleasantly shocked by Monday night mass, and it's here to stay. I'm so happy to be a Grenadian, so I can go back and talk about Grenada mass. Last year, I had to hang my head in shame.
Yeah, you called it a fiasco.
Total fiasco. It was even difficult to get a 5-minute feature of Grenada's carnival on CultureShare.
Really?
Oh man, it was hard sitting down in the studio trying to put that together. I felt
Are you
hurt.
speaking specifically maybe of the Tuesday parade of the bands last year?
Oh yeah, that was, it was like 4 sections of a band that you saw on an entire afternoon. That was shocking, very shocking. But maybe that was good to wake up some of the sleeping giants to get back into the realm of things.
Are you giving credit to the NCCDC here?
Oh, definitely. They have to take the credit. Nelson Louison and the rest of the NCCDC, I give high marks for a job well done. Of course, I think that this year is the beginning of a new chapter in Grenada's carnival. And right now, we can't afford to go backwards. It's total improvement. We're hoping that there'll be more numbers next year. And of course, now that we have most of the show on CultureShare in North America and Europe, that is only going to make more people come back for Carnival. So 1996, I think, is going to be a bonanza as far as Grenada's Carnival is concerned. And we have to make Carnival a year-round activity. The preparation for Carnival, the registration process and bands, it has to be a year-round activity. The people in North America, realizing the fiasco from last year, decided, the people from Comancheros and Angel Harps, to put the bands together for Carnival this year. We expect more numbers coming down from New York, and we expect more numbers in the bands in Grenada. This is a new beginning.
You're a Juve person. I know you're a Juve person, and Juve sometimes highlights the creativity of our people more than anything else. What did you think of it this year?
Very good. I saw a lady playing an old mass, The Agony of Defeat. And you would think of being living in New York, when you hear about the agony of defeat, you think about ABC's Wide World of Sports, the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. But that agony was in of 2 feet. That is what Old Mass is all about. And I was very pleased. I said, yes, we have gone back to the traditional way, and that's good. And that is why Monday Night Mass will make it. You have to separate the traditional aspect of Juve from the aspect that's not traditional, and that is what exactly was done. And I say full mark. So it means now that there'll be more interest among people to play Old Mass, because there'll be more attention paid to the people that are portraying the Old Mass.
Are you saying now that there is even more material, even better material now for CultureShare? I understand there was the feeling by the producers that not enough good or proper material was coming out from Grenada. Can we expect even more now?
Of course, like the Trinidad Carnival, we'll be having 2 features on Grenada's Carnival this year. So that augurs well for the Carnival. I was looking back at some of the footage from the Calypso shows, the Queen show, the Panorama, and they've been pretty good. And I did my hosting already on the streets on Carnival Tuesday for 2 programs. So like the Trinidad specials, we'll be having 2 specials of Grenada's Carnival on CultureShare. So this is going to whip up the interest, and throughout the year you'll be seeing. Oh, let me make this point before I go on. For the people who have been saying that they have not been seeing enough of Grenada's Calypsonians on CultureShare, you're absolutely right. But there's a reason for it. You see, television is not radio. You can't, whereas in radio you pick up a record and just put on a needle or a CD and just play it. Television is different. You go to a show, the sound system in the show has to be top class. The lighting system has to be A class. Unfortunately, the promoters that put on shows do not see this as a priority. Now, most people go to a show and they jump up and get on bad, and you understand? Because the drum machine start, the bass man start, and the Calypsonian start singing, and before you know you're making noise, you hear the chorus. Little do they hear the brass man that is sung in the incorrect notes, the drummer that may be a little off. You don't hear it. When the post-mortem is done, when you go back to the studio and sit down to listen to the quality of the music, then it's a different story altogether. Because remember that when somebody's looking at CultureShare, they're in the comfort of their home, in a relaxed atmosphere. You understand? So when you put that on and a brass man playing wrong notes, that is not interesting viewing for the audience. So it is about quality. In New York, the Calypsonians from Grenada have not been enjoying. 99% of the shows among Grenadian Calypsonians in New York have been of a substandard. Poor bands, inadequate lighting at times, the venue is inadequate, very low roofs, we cannot work with it to get our shots to pan very good, and these are things that work against us. Sad to say that promoters do not pay much emphasis on quality as they do when it's a Trinidad show. So you may find that the worst bands in New York will play for the Grenadians, and they may not get adequate rehearsals so that the band is not up to scratch. So that is our problem. So as a result of that, we have not been able to highlight much of the Grenada stuff. The Trinidadians will go for Roy Cape and the Kaiso All-Stars, which is one of the top bands. You know, the Ruction and the Atlantic, which are top bands. They'll go for the best sound people, the best sound engineers. And that is not the case in the Grenadian situation. So we are at a disadvantage. So that is the reason why the viewers of CultureShare have not been seeing much of the Grenadian Calypsonians on stage.
I've heard that CultureShare now has BET connections.
Right. Now, the television station in London that CultureShare is broadcast, that's Identity TV, has now been bought over by BET. Now, they have big plans to spread the transmission as far to Europe as possible. Now that BET has taken over this thing, you're talking about professionalism to the max, quality to the max. You're talking top class television. We are now consumed in that market. So we have no choice but to give you top class quality. And I am not going to compromise low quality for nationalism. Not because I'm a Grenadian and there's a Grenadian Act for the sake of putting on something Grenada and it's substandard because I'm from Grenada, I'm going to put it on. No. If a CultureShare program has to go on without a Grenadian Act because it's difficult to find at that appropriate time something from Grenada that is of the quality, that is broadcast quality, then I will not put it on. And I'm going to tell you something, it is to the benefit of the artist. Because if you're talking about, remember, we are reaching people who cannot also identify with the Calypso art form. I mean, if you're trying to woo people who cannot identify with the art form,
I was about to ask.
And you give them something that's substandard with lighting that's poor, you understand? I mean, it ain't gonna do nothing.
You've mentioned lighting, you've mentioned
sound.
You've mentioned sound. What can the Calypsonian himself or herself do?
Nothing.
To make themselves even better for CultureShare?
You know, it's not, the problem is not the Calypsonian.
Okay.
The Calypsonian himself is not at fault. You see, the Calypsonian is an entertainer. He is a performer. I hire a performer. I am the promoter. It is my duty as a promoter to give the audience who comes to look at the show the best quality of shows. Unfortunately, that's not the case. If I'm a promoter, I have to ensure that I go out and get the best of the sound people, the best band, so that the paying patrons can get quality for the money that's spent. Unfortunately, that's not the case. In New York right now, most of the party places have been closed down because the people who run the party places do not own the places. The places are not legitimate party places. So you have the police swooping down. Mayor Giuliani, with this new quality of life program, is now ensuring that all of the illegal places do not operate. You know, if somebody calls from the neighborhood saying that there's too much noise coming from a party place, and they call the police, like happened just a few weeks ago with Ronnie McIntosh performing. When Ronnie McIntosh was in the middle of his performance, it's like boom, he had to shut down. The police came in, shut the entire fed down because somebody called it's too much noise. The place was an illegal place, was not supposed to be selling liquor. They had no liquor license and they were selling liquor. You understand? So this is the kind of society that the soca music is into at the moment. So this affects our production on CultureShare. You understand? So it is a sad state of affairs, but we have to deal with it. And people have to understand. You see, we cannot compromise quality. The person in Grenada maybe could deal with if they see Squeezy or a Jamo with a little dark light. They're going to deal with it. You know what I mean? Because it's local. But we have to set standards. This is an era where we cannot be followers. We have to set standards and we have to be innovators. And if nobody ain't gonna set standards, nobody would come up to scratch. And I'm sorry if you feel that, I mean, if you believe that we're selling out because we feel we some big kind of thing, as some people are saying, I'm sorry, but that's not the case. But I can assure you that the quality of the recordings this year at the carnival have been very good. So you would be seeing an increase of Grenadian artists on the program this year.
The Calypsos themselves, what did you think about them, especially the March Grenade?
Oh, very good. The quality of the show was superb. I am happy to see that the Grenadian Calypsonians have been living up to the standard that they have been setting for the past few years. Everybody went down superbly. It is something that we can show the world that this is Grenada Calypso. But I have a problem. The broadcast media, the radio stations, sad to say, Andre, they are helping to bury the art form here in Grenada. I have a problem. For the season since I've been here, I am hearing only a Jamo, I'm hearing Inspector, and I'm hearing Flying Cloud. There is an over-proliferation of these three guys on the radio, and I'm not hearing anything else. Don't get me wrong, I hold the highest of respect for these three guys. They are great ambassadors of the culture, and they are my friends. The people who are announcers on the radio stations in Grenada, sad to say, they are the wrong people to have on the air. I am not pinpointing any one specific person, I'm speaking generally. The people that are announcers are not culturally aware. It seemed as though that everybody on the radio seemed to be going a popularity contest to see who could outdo one another to be the most popular person. If I have to come on the radio and I think I want to be popular, I had to play Inspector, I had to play a Jamo, I had to play Flying Cloud. And when I go down and walk in town and somebody say, oh yeah, you know, look at so-and-so, you know, he's on the radio, man. He announcing, man. He on the radio, you know, he's a good fella. Then I feel happy about it. I'm sad to say, this is the entire wrong way to go. You can't convince me that there ain't an unknown Calypsonian among the amount of tapes I have seen around the place. An unknown Calypsonian who has a good calypso that warrants play on the airwaves. It is cacophony for you to tell me there ain't. Announcers on the radio are not taking the time off to prepare their work. It is a parallel. Are you a fly-by-night announcer, or are you approaching this in a professional manner? Am I going to take 2 or 3 hours to sit down and go through the tapes as detailed as possible to find something of quality so that I can play on the radio? Or am I going to just jump and when I push my hand to the back, the quickest thing I could pick up is an Inspector, is a Jamo or Flying Cloud, and that's how I'm going to play. And so the girls going to like me for that because I'm playing what the ladies want to hear. We have the wrong people on the radio, and I'm saying it clearly, they are helping to bury the art form. We have to delve into... And look, listen, man, in the 1980s, when the Troy Garveys and the Lou Smiths and myself, we started this thing about Total Local. In 1981, when Timpo came on stage, we had no records and we had no CDs. We had reel-to-reel cassettes. And if you're in radio, the most difficult thing you can operate is a reel-to-reel cassette, a reel-to-reel tape. But we took the time off to prepare ourselves and delve deep and give as much and as fair play as possible. A hit will always be a hit. When something is a hit, it's going to be a hit. The March Gras in Trinidad this year, 99% of the calypsos in the March Gras this year, including the Mighty Sparrows calypso. 80% of the people who came on the night of the March Gras in Trinidad never heard most of the guys' calypsos that performed that night. But it's a traditional thing. People came out to see who gonna win the king. And announcers have to realize the part that they play in society as ambassadors of the culture. And I am not satisfied that the announcers on the radio are culturally aware to know the role they have to play in society. And I have a problem with that. And I think that they're helping to bury the art form by highlighting only a clique of Calypsonians. The culture is bigger than the man. And like a tripod, you can't stand on three feet alone. You need more than that to stand on for the survival of the art form.
Let me ask you this. If you had to replay one scene from this year's carnival for your audience, what would it be?
One scene from carnival this year to replay for the audience. One scene from the carnival to replay for the audience. One scene?
One scene.
Oh boy.
Okay.
You know what? Smallies. Save the environment. I'll replay that calypso. You know why? The ozone layer has a gigantic hole in it right now because of the inept attitude of mankind towards saving the environment. Big industry, under the guise of profitability and making money, we have compromised the preservation of our atmosphere so that our children and our grandchildren can breathe freely. We have been a failure to posterity in that aspect. So because of the severity of the situation right now, and people like Greenpeace that are campaigning for the preservation of the environment, I think that calypso by Smallies, I will go an extra mile and play that a second time.
Okay, Harold. That's all I have.
Before we go, by the way, I want to take this opportunity to say how pleased G.B.T.V was to work along with GBCTV for the entire carnival season. It's been a great experience. It is not something we do, but because we are Grenadians, we decided, myself and Gentle and the rest of the crew, we sat down and we said that, we should do it this way. let's incorporate the guys at the local station with us, and let's do it together as a Grenadian body. Because even though we have an international program, we see ourselves as Grenadians, and we always sit down and discuss what we can do for Grenada. Already we have donated a switcher to GBCTV, and which has been appreciated, and we'll go out of our way whenever possible to donate what we can towards GBCTV. But we want to say the camaraderie and the chemistry that were exhibited between ourselves and GBCTV, we were quite happy to work along, and we're looking forward for greater things. And the sad part of it with the burning down of the house of Zereth McMillan of GBCTV, G.B.T.V will be making a small contribution towards Zereth McMillan and his family towards that. But we want to say congrats to GBCTV. We really admired the attitude that you all had towards the carnival, and we want to continue in that vein to work along with you all the time in the interest of the development of Grenada's carnival. And we say it's one love.
All right, as always, it's a pleasure working with you guys also. So, really thanks for coming here and letting us know how you feel about carnival, and also to hear that you thought last year was a fiasco.
Okay, Andre, it's been a pleasure.
Okay.
All right.